Okay, firstly, it's a big congratulations to Rory Mcilroy winning the WGC HSBC Champions tournament in China. So Rory, incredible, just gets better and better. So my top 3 tips to take away from Rory's swing: I'm going to analyse Rory's driver week in, week out. He is exceptional. Impeccable driving, hitting up to 70% of what he aims for, which is just incredible. Watch out for this man. He's up for a major or two next year if he keeps all facets of his game in good form. So let's look at Rory's driver. So let's start from the beginning. Tip number 1, good sound basics. So we start from the ground up. Shoelaces outside the hips for the driver, ball position pushed forwards in the stance, feet turned outwards. What I like very, very much about Rory's setup, and he does this every time, and he has always showed good form in posture. So he bends nicely from his hips, and importantly gets that lower part of his back on a good angle up to his shoulders, his thoracic spine. So he bends and hinges forwards from the hips nicely to get a good hinge forwards, getting his upper body lowered down. His upper back is slightly curved. That is correct, and all relative to the length of his biceps. So copy Rory's setup, copy Rory's posture. Also, quick comment on his posture from his legs, in particular his knee flex, pushing his thighs back slightly, which he does incredibly well. Always good balance. So he gets a little bit of knee flex that gets his thighs back and pushes his shins forwards towards his laces, getting his weight balanced nicely on the middle of his feet. Copy Rory's setup, you will never go wrong with the driver. Number 2 in my tips from Rory's swing is how you use your arms. I'm going to take Rory's lead arm as the example. When he gets his lead arm, his left arm, a little bit too far behind him, he gets the club a little bit stuck and he struggles with the club path moving outwards a little bit too much, which can cause block and hooks in Rory's case. But what he's done exceptionally well this week, and has really started to get this correct week in, week out, hence his form, and obviously carrying it over from winning the FedEx last season, is that he uses his right arm very, very well to manage and regulate the depth of his left arm. So you can see his bicep is more now in front of his torso, it's not behind him. The fact is this: elbows bend and function better when they are bending in front of the body and not behind or to the side of the body. So he gets good depth in his left arm, and his right arm is policing or regulating that nicely. We can see his bicep is horizontal to the ground, and that's going to get his hands in a good position, which he then can hold that nice pressure point here as his arm gets across his chest nicely. So he's just going to hold a little pressure there with the inside of his left arm against his chest. As he drops that down into his squat move, his left arm is across his chest. Nice. Release that arm off the chest through the golf ball as he flings the arms for incredible speed past the golf ball into a great position to the end. So when we look at his hand path and his hand track, exceptional from Rory Mcilroy as he gets his hands up into a good position to the top of the backswing, brings the hands down slightly behind him, works the hands, arms off of his chest post impact on a good path and track into the follow through. Third and final is how he organises his wrists and therefore his club face. His arms control his path, and his wrists are going to control and organise his club face. So he's going to have ball position forwards, so he's going to have a slight cup or extended left wrist or lead wrist, glove hand wrist at setup, and he begins to lose that extension up to the top of the backswing. Slight extension here, slight cup in that wrist, that is correct, but he's going to lose that and start to flatten that wrist as he works the club down to this position here, which we can see is less extended, so it's flattened out a little bit post impact. It's going to be nice and flat through impact, and then he then extends that glove hand wrist into the follow through as we see this position here. So his glove hand, if he was to open that glove hand now, would be pointing left of target, a correct and good position to get to for you if you can ensure that you lose the extension and cupping in your wrist, get it nice and flat or even flexed on the way down, so when shaft is parallel, and then you can release that a little bit through impact into your follow through. So if you can manage your path and face like Rory has done this week, this particular shot was a fade, if you can manage that well, you're going to hit good long straight drives like Rory Mcilroy.
Thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate your support with the channel. Please like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos, and click on the notifications icon so that when you log on to YouTube, you see my new videos when I release them. Thank you very much. You guys are great.